The iPhone SE4 seems to be ready to go from forgettable phone to actually a device you might be willing to buy. Pebble seems ready to make a comeback, though, with a more rebel name, if you know what I mean. DeepSeek has just taken AI by storm, as it seems to have figured out how to be better than ChatGPT with less money and resources. The list of companies ready to buy TikTok is so interesting you might not even believe some of the names. I'm Jaime Rivera, and yes, as much as I thought that this week would be slow when it came to news, we managed to condense 9 topics into 5. This is Tech Briefing. The official news today begin with something near and dear to our hearts, and yes, we mean Pebble. That was my first smartwatch nearly 11 years ago, and I'm sure it was for many of you too. And yeah, we saw it be devoured by Fitbit, which was later devoured by Google. Still, there was so much genius in this first watch that I'll admit I even think it inspired the Garmin button combination. Anyways, in a surprise move, Google has recently decided to make the Pebble operating system open source. It's actually part of Google's efforts to support the volunteer-driven Rebel project, which I thought was dead but has kept legacy Pebble devices alive since the Fitbit acquisition back in, 2016? We actually still wonder why Fitbit acquired the company, as I can't really tell you they've done much with that operating system. This new source code release includes features like notifications, fitness tracking, and custom applications that were designed for the tiny ARM Cortex-M microcontrollers. The thing is, what makes all this development interesting is that Eric Mijakowski, Pebble's founder, has confirmed that there are plans to build a new smartwatch using the operating system he once built, though it won't have the Pebble name because apparently Google still owns the brand name, so there goes that. Mijakowski seems to plan a small, sustainable company that focuses on simplicity and longevity, something current smartwatches all get wrong, which is a complete irony considering that regular watches are mostly famous for being timeless pieces of art in some cases. He does hint to exciting new features to come as well, and that they will all be compatible with existing Pebble applications, watch faces, etc., though there is no official timeline. What do you think about this project? Would you want another Pebble? Because I seriously want a refresh to the Pebble Steel. That same design, but I don't know, new perks. That remains my favorite smartwatch design of all time after the Moto 360. Share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's switch gears to AI because things just got hectic again this week. Isn't it crazy that every single time a company launches a new AI thing, it's like if they catch all existing players off guard? Well, China-based AI startup DeepSeek has disrupted the industry by launching a chatbot that quickly topped Apple's App Store free charts in multiple countries, including the US, raising questions about Silicon Valley's AI dominance, though for reasons that really go beyond the App Store. That was just the consequence. See, DeepSeek claims that its R1 model was trained with just 2,048 NVIDIA H800 chips and $5.6 million. Yes, a chatbot that's pretty much as powerful as OpenAI's latest GPT-4o, and yet costing a fraction of the billions that companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, and Meta have spent on AI infrastructure. Investor Mark Anderson called it one of the most amazing and impressive breakthroughs, especially since it demonstrates that cutting-edge AI can be developed efficiently rather than relying on vast computational power. DeepSeek's rapid rise has already caused volatility in AI-related stocks, including NVIDIA, as investors question whether massive capital expenditures are still necessary for AI development. But then, this is where things get even more interesting. See, OpenAI and Microsoft are already investigating whether DeepSeek has used OpenAI's API to extract data and develop its model in violation of OpenAI's terms of service. Security researchers reportedly detected large-scale data transfers from OpenAI developer accounts linked to DeepSeek in late 2024, and OpenAI believes the company used model distillation, a technique for training smaller models based on the outputs of more powerful ones, in order to replicate OpenAI's technology. While distillation is common in AI development, using it to clone proprietary models is strictly prohibited. The situation has sparked a broader debate over intellectual property in AI, which is such an irony considering how OpenAI trained its own models using publicly available content that spun its own set of controversies. Then we have other reports claiming that DeepSeek is serving responses that lead to Chinese propaganda, so yeah, expect the US government to chime in soon. I'm curious to know what you think about all this in the comments. And speaking of Chinese companies, how about if we switch back to TikTok so that I can update you on how the soap opera is going? At the moment, TikTok continues to operate pretty much thanks to a delay in the ruling, but its fate remains uncertain. It seems the company still has to sell to a US buyer if it intends to continue operating, and well, that's where things get even more interesting. See, ByteDance continues to be reluctant to sell, but the US government isn't having it, and this has led to a multitude of acquisition attempts that are, I don't even know how to describe it, but maybe one of the most interesting ones is from a consortium of American investors led by none other than Mr. Beast. According to Bloomberg, the group has raised over $20 billion for a bid, with support from Roblox CEO David Baszucki and Anchorage Digital CEO Nathan McCauley. Their offer is competing against Project Liberty, a group led by LA Dodgers owner Frank McCourt, and Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, which is reportedly valuing its bid at $25 billion. At the same time, Microsoft has been mentioned as another potential buyer. And then we have US President Donald Trump, which previously stated that there are great interest in TikTok, hinting that a bidding war would lead to the best possible deal. Microsoft has declined to comment on these reports, but it remains a key player in the conversation. Meanwhile, NPR reports that the White House is directly involved in discussing about a potential deal that would see Oracle, an outside investor, take control of TikTok, with ByteDance retaining a minority stake. Oracle, which already provides cloud infrastructure for TikTok, previously attempted to acquire the application in partnership with Walmart, though, so we'll see how that goes. A deal would lead to TikTok's global operations being predominantly held by US ownership, but I'm curious to know which company would you like to buy TikTok in the comments, because, I mean, Microsoft has lately been buying companies but letting them run themselves, so I actually think that could be the best approach. And finally, for the most interesting news today, let's talk about Apple, because it seems the company does want to be serious about its affordable iPhone revamp. At this point, we're back to calling it iPhone SE4 instead of iPhone 16e, but listen, I still defer to the latter. Regardless, we're expecting the phone around April, and leaks continue to detail what to expect. Majin Buu has clearly been busy, because now we have some images of a leaked dummy unit being compared to the iPhone 16, and listen, this is pretty interesting. I think that I've been complaining about the iPhone SEs for a long time, mainly because they retain very old designs, but this is nothing like that. From the comparison, the new SE4 looks more like an iPhone 16 than anything. I'd even say more like the iPhone 14, as this more affordable model seems to have sharper corners, which Apple slightly curved for ergonomics with the 15 and 16 series. Obviously, the major difference here is that you're only getting one camera as opposed to two on the base models, but then the visuals show such a protrusion that it's clear that the optics won't be cheap. And yeah, I won't be the first to remind you that dummy units more often than not look very different from the final product, but they do get the dimensions right most of the time. Apparently, we're getting the same 48 megapixel Fusion camera from the base models and also the iPhone 17 Pro series, so it's no slouch. Now, as for the rest of the phone, the previous leaks haven't really changed. Apple's base A18 chip, 8 gigs of RAM, which means Apple Intelligence is in tow, and judging by the possible launch timeframe, this could actually happen right when Apple completes what they showed off at WWDC for Apple Intelligence. But anyways, in today's question, let us know, how much would you be willing to pay for an iPhone SE4 under these conditions? Because in my case, listen, I do think $500 might be a little steep for a single camera in this day and age, but the fact of the matter is, if you're getting a pro kind of camera on that phone for $500, it might be compelling. You could get 2x digital crop and stuff. I mean, I actually like the idea, but that's just me. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, Tech Briefing is a work in progress, and for us to continue into the next phase, we need your support, but this is the good kind of support where all we ask is for you to like and subscribe, tell your friends that I've started a new channel, and also follow me on social media, which is also of huge support. Tech Briefing alone is the work of 3 people, so we really hope you like what you see. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.